We see on an island, where a group of hunters face off against several giant monster ants. Their leader gets right up close to one of the ants and says they have to hold them back no matter what, no retreat allowed. But damn, these hunters get overwhelmed real quick. The leader is losing consciousness, and one of the ants is chowing down on his insides. It looks like he's gonna die. But out of nowhere, this dude with crazy strong healing magic saves him just in the nick of time. The leader freaks out because this guy is about to get attacked too, but boom, he gets saved too. And the guy who saved the leader calls on his teammate to finish off the ants. This next guy is a total beast, beating the crap out of those monsters easily. The first group realizes that they were just side characters all along, and these dudes who came to save them are S-rank hunters, the best of the best. They wipe out the red ants easily, but then this even bigger albino ant shows up. The attackers decide to engage the ant, while they leave the wounded leader to the healer. They go all out, using their teamwork to rip off its face and arms. The super powerful warrior uses one of those ripped off arms to obliterate the giant ant. But hold up, there's no time to celebrate because the albino ant army arrives. It turns out the giant ant was just one of many, but these hunters ain't scared, man. The mage guy powers up his lightning, and the brute dude goes into full-on Hulk mode, ripping his clothes apart with his massive muscles. You can see their crazy fight from the city, where this other guy named Choi is relieved they made it in time. Choi's got his hands full because the city's got a serious ant problem too. But he handles it like a boss and lights it up with some serious flames, leaving only the colorless ones. And he's got a team of exterminators to help him out. We then learn that over 10 years ago, portals that could connect to a different dimension suddenly appeared in the world. And guess what? All types of monsters come from the portal. Only folks with special powers, called hunters, can fight them off. The hunters are ranked based on their magical abilities, from S rank being the highest to E rank being the lowest. But here's the kicker, once their powers awaken, they can't get any stronger, no matter how hard they try. 3 years have gone by, and that construction site is now a dungeon raid spot. We see this dude grabbing some drink before he heads in, and one of his friends calls out to him. He's surprised to see him there since he heard that Park quit being a hunter. That was true, but then the economy smacked him in the face after his wife got pregnant a second time. So the dude needed to make a ton of cash real quick, and a dungeon raid seemed like the perfect way to do it. We see that our hero has arrived. His name is Jinwoo. He recently joined the group, but they've already nicknamed him the weakest hunter ever. He greets everyone as he walks in, so Park asks why everyone seems to know him, thinking maybe he's some super strong hunter, but it's the complete opposite. Jinwoo is known as the weakest hunter ever. He managed to get himself injured and ended up in the hospital in an E-rank dungeon. They might as well create a new rank just for him, like an F rank, because he's that weak. But here's the thing, his reputation as the weakest works in his favor. If they call him in for a dungeon raid, it means it's probably gonna be a piece of cake. Jinwoo heard every word they said about him, but he couldn't deny it because it was true. He's just that damn weak. This woman named Juhi calls him out, and it turns out Jinwoo knows her from a previous mission they did together. But forget the greetings, she's more concerned about his latest injuries, and asks him what the hell happened this time. They sit down, and Jinwoo explains the embarrassing fact that he got injured in the lowest ranking dungeon. And get this, the team didn't even have a healer with them, because they didn't think any hunter would be dumb enough to injure themselves there. But they didn't take into account Jinwoo Dumbass' existence. Juhi gets pissed on his behalf, but Jinwoo already knows it ain't their fault. It's his damn fault for being so weak in the first place. It's time to enter the dungeon, and they're all about to head in. So this dude named Song Cheol suggests he be the party leader for this expedition. No one objects, so he leads the way, and before Jinwoo goes in, he gets a friendly reminder to stick close to the group, so he doesn't get hurt again. Jinwoo's only weapon is a crappy little knife with barely any magic power because that's all he can afford with his measly earnings. But he swears he'll give it his all anyway. In another place, there's this president of the Hunters Association named Juhi. He just finished a meeting with the government. They warned him about something called dungeon break that they needed to avoid. However, these same people demanded that they get the goods obtained from the dungeon. The members of the association make their living by selling the stuff they find in the dungeon, so Juhi doesn't have a problem with that request. The crystals they get from defeating magical creatures are called magic gems, and they sell them for money. Now let's go back to Jinwoo. Somehow, he managed to get his hands on a magic gem. Of course, he's thrilled about finally getting one, but he quickly has to defend himself against a goblin. When Jinwoo attacks the goblin, Jinwoo's blade shatters to pieces. The goblin stabs our hero, and instead of fighting back, Jinwoo just stands there screaming. Luckily, the big guy from earlier rushes past the useless girl and saves Jinwoo. While she heals him, Jinwoo can only watch as the rest of the team does all the work. We then find out that magic gems obtained from high-ranking magical creatures can be used to make more powerful weapons to defeat even stronger creatures. Mana crystals from the dungeon can also be used as weapons, but they're not nearly as effective as the magic gems. The government wants to use these items as a new kind of energy source. It's safer, more efficient, and causes less pollution compared to other types of power. It's like the perfect green energy, and the government is desperately researching how to generate electricity from these gems and crystals. Since these items can only come from the dungeon, hunters become incredibly valuable. Meanwhile, back in the dungeon, the team celebrates their victory after defeating the dungeon boss. Jinwoo must be the weakest person ever because he took a beating and Jinwoo is still healing him. She wonders why he even became a hunter if he's always getting injured, and thinks he's gonna meet his end one day. Jinwoo apologizes, but his words don't mean much and she's just worried about him. Everyone gets their share of the spoils from the battle, but there weren't many mana crystals, so they won't make much money. Jinwoo starts to doubt himself and feels disappointed to have only gotten a measly E-rank gem. He starts questioning if it's even worth risking his life for. One guy on the team calls everyone's attention to a huge hole, and they all gather around to figure out what the heck it is. Looks like a cave, but they're in a dungeon, so it's more likely to be a double dungeon. It's rare, but they've heard of it before, and their suspicion is confirmed, because they've already taken down the dungeon boss, yet the place hasn't started closing like a regular dungeon would. It seems like there's more loot to be grabbed deeper inside. Now Song Cheol tries to be the voice of reason and suggests that they follow the normal protocol by informing the association about the double dungeon and following their instructions. But the team ain't down with that idea, because it means giving up all the untapped loot that's probably waiting for them down there. Then this guy Park says it's just an F-rank dungeon, and then he brings up his wife and kid, talking about how he needs to make more money to support them. Song Cheol gets the point they're trying to make, but he wants to hear everyone's opinions before making a decision. Each team member chimes in with a mix of approval for venturing deeper and the realization that this is a clear death trap. In reality, 6 voices are answering to go to the cave, while 6 voices want to turn back. That means someone needs to break that tie, and the only one left who hasn't voted is Jinwoo. The decision is left up to him, and he knows damn well that a D-rank dungeon is insanely dangerous for him. But with his father missing, he's the only one in his family who can earn any money. He's already burdened with a ton of financial responsibilities. His mom's in the hospital, and his sister needs to go to college, so he can't stay broke forever. So he decides to go into the dungeon. Elsewhere, in the lab, where people are getting tested for their magical powers. In the waiting room, the others are ready to recruit any promising new hunters. This ranked hunter Choi has told his people that regardless of age or gender, they're getting recruited. Meanwhile, some thieves snatch a purse and get ready to run over a girl who's in their way. This girl fearlessly snatches the purse back from those guys without even blinking. It's like it's just a regular day for her. This girl is Cha-hee, the famous S-rank hunter. She's a celebrity, but she can't handle all the attention. Her fans go crazy over her, and she makes a super dramatic exit. Back in the dungeon, the party has been walking for 40 minutes now, and they haven't found anything valuable yet. And the portal to a dungeon closes after an hour, so they only have another 20 minutes before they're out of time completely. Jinwoo says sorry to Joo-hee for making her come along because of his vote, but she's more pissed about how he doesn't worry more about his own life. If he had been stabbed just a bit higher, he'd be dead. And on top of that, she had a hard time healing his hands and feet. She keeps scolding him, and he realizes that it's only because of the B-rank healer that he can survive. Jinwoo feels sorry, so she suggests that buying her a meal would be a good apology. Our boy is taken aback by her forwardness, but before they can continue their discussion, the team discovers the boss's room. It's unusual to find such massive doors, so something feels off. Kim refuses to leave empty-handed and is determined to enter, with the others joining him. Meanwhile, in the city, a group of hunters are going through an orientation where they watch a video of Gunhee. He explains that the dungeon portal has been around for over 10 years, and there are still many mysteries within. Being a hunter is dangerous, even for the most experienced ones, so they must always be cautious during a raid mission. They can't afford to be arrogant, and the main key to survival is extreme caution. However, this group in the dungeon seems to have completely forgotten those words and is entering a mysterious, dangerous, and unexplored room. These guys act very naturally, as if they're on some amusement park ride, as they've never seen a dungeon like this before. The statues look ancient, and at least 100 years old. Jinwoo is fixated on the biggest one, and Joohee starts feeling uneasy due to the eerie silence. Everyone wonders where the boss is, and Song Chil stares at something that looks like a magic circle on the floor. His attention is drawn to a tablet with ancient writings, containing commandments about worshipping some god. But Song is more concerned about something else. Joohee is certain she saw the giant statue's eyes move as if it was looking right at them. Jinwoo thinks she's just losing her mind, but everyone is shocked when the door suddenly slams shut. One dude on the team, who didn't even want to come in the first place, realizes something's off and tries to bail. But out of nowhere, one of the statues slices off half his body in an instant. Everyone loses their minds, because not only did someone just die, they got taken out so damn fast that nobody stands a chance against that power. Our boy turns his gaze back to the main statue, hoping that it doesn't move as well, but to his horror, it looks back at him. We take a peek into Jinwoo's past. The dude's been through some serious life or death situations. In his first mission, he got separated from his crew and attacked. Another time, he damn near starved to death while trapped in a maze. He's even been injured by some weak magic beast and ended up in the hospital for weeks. Even the lowest ranked, crappiest dungeons pose a real threat to this guy. Most hunters collect gems and sell them to buy better weapons, which they use to take down tougher beasts and earn bigger rewards. But not Jinwoo. He's stuck with a cheap little knife, and if that thing ever breaks during a fight, he's left fighting barehanded. His clothes are all raggedy with holes in them. He constantly gets mocked by others. He is stuck in this dangerous job that barely pays the bills. His only way to survive is by finding clever tricks and studying every little detail around him. Fast forward to the present, Jinwoo senses the danger oozing out of the giant statue, but he can't warn the others in time. That giant shoots out a massive beam from its eyes, causing chaos and destruction. The team is freaked out, unable to wrap their heads around what's going on. Joohee's trembling in fear, and his buddy Jinwoo is wondering how the hell things ended up like this. They're trapped with no way out, and even if Jinwoo gets lucky this time, he knows deep down he's gonna end up dead sooner or later. But our boy wished to catch the One Piece episode before he died. Song Chil tells everyone to stay put because the statue will strike again if they move. Jinwoo is too terrified to move, and Song thanks Jinwoo for his earlier warning, when he shouts for everyone to get down because he saved them all. Song is a seriously tough dude, and Jinwoo is shocked to see that he's missing an arm. Jinwoo needs to stop the bleeding for him because Joohee is freaking out and can't handle the pressure. She's a B-rank healer, but her fearfulness limits her to easy raids only. Song has been on plenty of B-rank raids himself, so he can tell that this statue isn't a rank, or maybe even an S-rank. The tablet had some stuff written about praising God or facing consequences, so Jinwoo figures that this statue must be the god it was talking about. We then find out that 10 years ago, these gates started appearing all over the place, and brought about all sorts of supernatural stuff. One result of this is people awakening special powers called hunters. Their job is to take down monsters in the dungeons, and once a hunter's power awakens, it stays the same. At school, Jinwoo's sister tells some girl about how her brother always ends up getting hurt. This girl can't believe that Jinwoo is a hunter and says she'd be a better hunter than him. Back in the dungeon, Song wants to come up with a plan to escape, but this one man gets impatient. He just signed up with some famous guild and doesn't want to die now. This guy is confident that his insane speed will get him out of there. He does have some crazy speed as he takes off running, but the statue disintegrates him, leaving only his fast feet behind. That makes it clear that this statue could wipe them all out in a heartbeat if it wanted to, and it could do it easily. So why doesn't it? Jinwoo realizes it must have something to do with the first command, which is to worship God. Jinwoo gets up, having come up with an idea, and gets a determined look on his face. Song is worried, but amazed to see that Jinwoo hasn't given up on surviving this mess, judging by the fire in his eyes. Jinwoo locks eyes with the statue and manages to prevent it from attacking at the very last moment. Our boy figures something out and tells everyone to bow down. Jinwoo thinks that if they show some respect to God by keeping their heads low, these freaky statues won't attack. Now everyone else is too damn clueless to come up with a better plan, so they all start bowing down to the statue, scared as hell, hoping this will save their sorry asses. But things get terrifying when the statue makes a terrifying face, moving mutton chop despite all the advice, and gets all pumped up because the statue ain't attacking anymore. And guess what? Everyone follows his dumb lead. But our boy he's say there's more to this crap. Right then, the statue makes a crazy move and stands the hell up. Now the supposed leader turns to Jinwoo, hoping he's got a plan. But damn, our boy doesn't, but for the fact that they can't break the commandments set by the tablet. The second commandment says they gotta praise God, so this brave dude with long hair steps up and starts praying to the damn thing. Everyone thinks it's working as the monster slows down, but Jinwoo knows better and reveals that the dude's words don't apply to this god. But boom, the statue stomps the poor guy, and everyone loses their minds. It's straight up chaos. Some random girl gets crushed, and everyone decides it's best to scatter. Park's thinking about his family, and how he can't leave them fatherless, but he makes the wrong move and gets sliced up by another statue. Meanwhile, Jinwoo's hauling ass with Juhi, racking his brain for a way to praise this messed up god. I mean, this monster's practically the devil, so how the hell do you come up with something to praise about it? But our hero knows he can't just ditch Juhi because everyone around them is dropping like flies. Jinwoo's freaking out, searching for any damn clue. He's checking out everything these statues are holding. Then he gets an idea and tells everyone to head to the statues that are holding instruments. So everyone follows his lead, and it becomes clear that these statues don't attack. Instead, they start playing their damn instruments. But when our boy gets to his statue, it's not playing any music, so he figures it doesn't work with two people. Jinwoo leaves Juhi behind, and that statue starts playing its tune. He hauls ass to find his statue, but damn, he nearly gets crushed. And then someone screams because Jinwoo's landed his sorry ass in front of the wrong goddamn statue. It slams its shield right on top of him, and Juhi goes nuts, screaming for Jinwoo. Our boy is still kicking, but he's in really bad shape, determined as hell not to give up. But damn, that giant's ready to finish him off for good. Jinwoo ain't ready to bite the dust, though even as that massive mofo stomps its foot down our boy. But guess what? Just in the nick of time, a statue starts singing, and we see Jinwoo made it to that statue just in the nick of time. He finally gets what it means to praise God, and the giant statue takes a chill pill and sits its ass down. Jinwoo tells Juhi he's fine, but she's shocked to see his foot ripped off. He tries to assure her he'll be alright, but she ain't having it. She's dead set on healing him, but her own body starts giving up on her. Everybody's in shock seeing how that goddamn raid went straight to hell. Some dude even tells Song that losing his arm was karma for leading them down this messed up path as their leader. Others think that's a bit too harsh, but Song takes full responsibility. But Jinwoo's way smarter than all these fools, because he knows there's no time for fighting because there's still one commandment left. Right then and there, the giant raises an altar smack in the middle of the room. Jinwoo knows them well from the legends, where they're used for offering treasure and sacrifices to the gods. The third commandment was all about proving your faith in God. Kim figures the sacrifice gotta be someone's life, and he couldn't think of a better candidate than their leader. They've all seen their teammates die, and Song's the one to blame. So Song steps up to that altar, but Jinwoo points out it ain't all his fault, since they all voted to come down there. Then fire pops up as Song approaches the altar, and he asks Jinwoo if there's something else he gotta do. Our boy, being the smartest and bravest of them all, asks the others to help him get to the altar so he can check it out. Jinwoo ain't thinking nothing bad's gonna happen to them, so they get him there, and what do they find? And they find that more flames appear. Song keeps pressing Jinwoo for answers, but he ain't come up with any yet. Song explains the gate's been open for a whole damn week, so the statues are about to start moving again before anyone comes to rescue them. Jinwoo remembers how it takes a full 7 days for a gate to open wide open, and that's called the dungeon break. When that happens, their beasts can cross over to our side. The main goal of these raids is to defeat the dungeon boss and shut the gate down before that time's up. So if they can't beat this boss right now, that damn giant's gonna come barging into our world, and that shit's straight up terrifying. Back in their world, Jinna goes to see Jinwoo's mom, and they start chatting. But damn, their mom is in really bad shape. In the dungeon, Jinwoo tells the scaredy cats of the group to come over to the altar. He predicts that they need a flame for each person. Once they do it, more flames pop up, and the damn door opens wide. They're all freaking out, thinking it might be a trap. And to their surprise, the other statues start moving towards them. Everyone is panicking, but Jinwoo keeps his cool and starts analyzing the situation. This freaking genius is something else. He tells everyone to keep their eyes on the statues because they won't move if we're watching them. Everyone follows his orders, and shockingly it works. Everyone's doing their best to keep their eyes on those terrifying statues, but then this one chick gives in to fear and tries to haul ass toward the door. As soon as she crosses the circle, her flame goes out, but she manages to make it out the damn door. Song Cheol can't figure out what the hell is happening. The door closed a bit, but the girl made it out alright. He thought we were supposed to stay in the circle, so naturally, he turned to Jinwoo for answers. Jinwoo's just as confused, but he starts analyzing everything again. Those blue flames have been burning out over time. One of the fire ones went out when that girl escaped. The first order was to revere, the second was to praise, and the third was to prove our faith. Jinwoo is damn sure that the door must be a trap. This situation is dangerous as hell, and it's messing with our heads, giving us false hope. It makes him wonder if this is some test of our faith in this god. Jinwoo gets thrown to the ground as the next dumbass decides to make a run for it, and the same shit happens. His flame goes out, the door closes a bit more, and he seems to escape. Kim starts thinking about leaving too, but Jinwoo warns everyone not to move. If anyone else leaves, we won't have enough eyes on the statues to keep them from moving. He reminds everyone that as long as we keep our eyes on those statues and stay put, we'll be safe. Jinwoo shows off his deduction skills once again, saying that the blue flames are like a damn timer, and when they're all gone, we can leave. Kim points out that there's also a chance we'll get trapped when the timer runs out. He admits he didn't expect Jinwoo, the weakest member, to achieve this amount of success. They're only alive thanks to him, but Kim's got a family waiting for him, and he doesn't want to die. He just wants to make it home, and can't risk Jinwoo being wrong. Kim says sorry and bolts out the door. Our boy won't have enough eyes to keep tabs on all these damn statues. Those statues start moving again. Jinwoo ain't about to bite the dust here though. Things are worse than ever, but he reminds himself that he's pulled through tough situations before. But damn, things are worse than ever now. But Song Cheol shockingly tells Jinwoo and Juhee to leave. He predicts that as long as one person stays by the altar, the door will stay open. And since Jinwoo and Juhee have some long lives ahead of them, he insists they should be the ones to make a run for it. Song Cheol wants Juhee to look after Jinwoo, but the poor girl's legs give. Things couldn't possibly get any worse, and Song realizes that Juhee must have pushed herself too hard to heal Jinwoo. Things have gone to the dogs, so Jinwoo tells everyone to leave him behind. Juhee needs someone to carry her ass out of there, and Song's the only one with 2 working feet. Juhee thinks she should be the one left behind, but Jinwoo reminds her about that lunch date they had planned. He hands her his gem so she can treat herself to a meal, and promises to get the change when they all make it out of this dungeon. Juhee won't ditch him, but Sung apologizes and knocks her out. They're running out of time. He apologizes to Jinwoo too, and bolts with Juhee to safety. Our boy can at least find comfort in knowing he's the only one who's gotta bite it, and his only regret is not having a better damn life insurance policy. Our hero grabs hold of a sword, dead set on taking one of these statues down with him. He tells them to bring it on. Those statues go full savage mode, ripping into him as he fights tooth and nail to stay alive. Jinwoo thinks about how he has always been the weakest. He's constantly getting mocked for it, but he's always given it his all. These damn statues ain't letting up, they chop off his arm, and Jinwoo screams in pure agony. He's angry because it doesn't have to end this way after he poured his heart and soul into trying to become stronger. But these statues keep inflicting more pain, and thrash him about further. But despite all the setbacks, he can't help but think about how he gave everything he had to make it this far. He's a fighter, even with just a sliver of life left in him. He's got this burning desire to let out a scream of pure anger, but he can't even do that as he is stabbed through the chest. Jinwoo's on the brink of death, but you can feel the rage coursing through his veins. He starts reflecting on how the first few people who ran away were just weaklings. They claimed they couldn't handle it anymore, but deep down, they were just selfish. Those fools were only looking out for themselves, and it's always the most selfish jerks who end up benefiting the most. That thought fuels Jinwoo's rage even further. He's got a family too. All he wants is to make it back home alive, just like those lucky ones before him. The pain is unbearable, and he starts wondering if it's a good thing that he's the only one who has to die. In his battered state, Jinwoo's mind starts wandering, and he realizes what a hypocrite he's been. He's struggling to catch his breath, desperately clinging to life. He doesn't want to die, but the final attack comes crashing down on him, and our boy wishes he could have one more shot. And just when it seems like it's all over, the final blue flame goes out, and this mysterious notification pops up out of nowhere. It turns out he's completed some secret quest called Courage of the Weak. It's offering him the opportunity to become a player. The catch is if he doesn't accept, the player's heart will stop in a fraction of a second, so no choice, and he hits that yes damn button. Right at that moment, Jinwoo wakes up in the damn hospital, and he's straight up shocked to find out that he's still got his damn arm. He remembers getting dismembered and all, but here he is, with his leg intact too. No sign of getting stabbed in the chest either, so he starts thinking, was that all just a crazy dream? And just when he's pondering this, some dude named Woo rolls up and introduces himself as the manager of the Hunter Association surveillance team. And that purple-haired dude, yeah, his name's Kang, but they ain't saying why they are there. They do reveal that Jinwoo was unconscious for 3 straight days. And get this, Joohee and Song ain't dead either. Song lost his arm though, so he might have to peace out as a hunter. Joohee's all sorts of messed up mentally, so she's getting psychiatric care. But it doesn't look too good, bro, so she's probably not gonna continue as a hunter. Only 6 peeps made it out alive from that crazy double dungeon they stumbled upon. Being a hunter is always a risky business, but what went down that day was a real tragedy. And here's the real mind-boggler, when another guild showed up later after being alerted by the survivors, and they found just Jinwoo. No signs of the temple or their statues. The survivors all told the same wild-ass story, which is hella hard to believe. Everyone's stories match up perfectly, so nobody's suspecting them. It's a crazy situation. And now, Woo's got this theory. He looks at Jinwoo and asks if he has a second awakening. Woo explains that a hunter's power is determined when they awaken it, and it doesn't change after that. But on some crazy rare occasions, a hunter can go through a second awakening. This mind-blowing event can push them past their previous limits, even to the ORS rank. Jinwoo gets all pumped up, thinking about this, and Woo brings out this meter thing to test Jinwoo's power. Woo figures that if they really went up against an instant-level magic beast as the survivors said, a low-level hunter wouldn't stand a chance. And since there ain't a single monster trace left behind, the most likely explanation is Jinwoo's second awakening. Jinwoo's hyped as hell to hear the results of his mana test. But damn, the results ain't looking good. Woo admits they messed up, and they leave. Turns out Jinwoo only scores a lousy 10 on the test. Even E-rankers usually get at least 70. A score of 10 puts Jinwoo in civilian territory. And to top it off, the dungeon just vanished, so they can't even investigate how Jinwoo pulled off survival. Jinwoo's bummed out by the whole damn thing, but he can't help but wonder why those guys didn't ask about the freaking thing floating in the air. He's freaking out, wondering if he's the only one who can see this, and then he realizes it's like a touch screen or something. Jinwoo remembers getting a message about becoming a player, but his sister interrupts his thoughts. She's all worried about him, so he apologizes and asks if she can see the panel. She can't see it, so he asks if she knows how opening messages in games usually work. Jinna thinks he's gone nuts, but our boy reminds her she used to be a gamer. She gives him the obvious answer, saying he just needs to check his inbox. Right then, a notification pops up saying Jinwoo has a daily quest, which is all about strength training. After Jinna leaves, our hero opens up a ton of these panels. They explain that the system is there to help the player get better, and if he doesn't follow it, there's gonna be consequences. They've also sent him some rewards, but Jinwoo has no clue what any of it means. Jinwoo accepts his daily quest, which sets out a bunch of goals like push-ups, sit-ups, squats, and running. But if he fails to complete the quest, he's gonna get penalized. Jinwoo starts wondering if this whole thing's a joke since he's stuck in the hospital and ain't got no energy for any of that crap. Outside, Woo tells the chairman that Jinwoo didn't have a second awakening. The whole incident's still a mystery, so they gonna mark it as a special case and look into it more. Meanwhile, Mr. Choi tells Cha-hee that she gonna be part of a B-rank raid as an instructor. This raid's gonna test and train the recruits, and he can't think of a better instructor than her. Cha-hee doubts her teaching skills, but Mr. Choi tells her to just fight like she always does, and everyone gonna learn from watching her. He goes on to explain that the Hunter Guild is one of the top 5 guilds in the country, but they ain't nothing special on the international stage. Hunters can't level up on their own, but they can improve their collective combat skills. Somewhere else, another gate opens up, and the observers are all like, damn, when are the hunters gonna show up? At the freaking hospital, Jinwoo falls asleep as the clock reaches midnight. Then a damn notification pops up, saying he didn't finish his quest, and suddenly the ground starts shaking like crazy. Jinwoo is frigging terrified when he finds himself in the middle of a damn desert, and to make things worse, there's this giant creepy caterpillar monster right in front of him. But suddenly another notification pops up, saying he's got a penalty quest, and he's gotta survive for 4 freaking hours. Back at the hospital, the nurses are all like, where the hell is Jinwoo? Because he's nowhere to be found. Little do they know our hero is stuck in some other dimension, running for his damn life. The giant caterpillar thing is closing in on him, and he's like, oh shit, because there's more than one of them. And if that ain't bad enough, Jinwoo still has 2 hours to get his ass back to the hospital. The nurses keep searching for him, they are all worried. Meanwhile, poor Jinwoo is running his ass off, knowing he's running out of time. The caterpillars are getting closer and closer, but just as the clock hits the deadline, Jinwoo finds himself back at the hospital. The notification confirms that he completed the penalty quest, but Jinwoo is so drained that he ends up puking and passing out. He gets another reward, but he's out cold and has no idea. Later on, Jinwoo tells his sister that he's healing up nicely and might be able to go home soon. So he gets dressed in his fancy tracksuit and heads outside. Over in another place, Juhi gets a request to join a raid, because some D-rank gate has shown up. The other guilds are busy, and Juhi can't bring herself to agree to go. On the other hand, Juhi gets some good news that Jinwoo has woken up from his coma. Juhi is all nervous and shit as she goes to visit him, but the nurses are like, he's running again, just like every day since he woke up. Outside, Jinwoo is thinking about how it's been 4 days since he woke up, and he's learned a few things. First off, those pop-up windows he's been seeing are for real, not some crazy hallucinations. And when he completes his daily quest, he gets 3 types of rewards. One is full recovery, which he uses now to shake off all that exhaustion from running. Then there are ability points, which he can use to boost his skills. Currently, our boy can totally feel the difference. He's got some serious power now. So this dude Jinwoo, he's got mad skills with inventory screens. Jinwoo takes a moment to think about how dang strange his life has just become and points out how it's like a freaking video game. But while he was messing with his screens, everyone around was just gawking at him. Anyway, this dude completes his daily quest and gets a random loot box as a reward. And guess what? Today's loot is a mysterious key. Usually, he just gets useless junk like pens and bandages, so this key is a total surprise. Then he gets a notification saying the key is for teleporting to some instant dungeon, with a location and all. Now Jinwoo doesn't know what the heck an instance dungeon is, but based on everything that's been going down, he figures it's some kind of event to help him get stronger. In this world, these things called gates open up all the time, and they even get a news report to keep track of them. Jinwoo goes to see his mom and remembers when he found her passed out. Turns out she's got this messed up sleep disease called final rest, and it showed up when the gates appeared. Some people say it's because of the constant exposure to mana. Modern medicine can't do much except keep them on life support. Jinwoo busted his ass to make enough money to become a hunter so he could pay for his mom's treatment. He told Jinna that he'd soon be able to afford their mom's treatment, but she was scared shitless about how dangerous being a hunter is. Jinwoo tries to reassure her that things will be okay from now on and tells her to trust him. But damn, it's clear that he's useless in a fight, and he ain't getting nothing from the rewards because of it. But things are different now. Jinwoo's putting in work to train his body, pumping all his ability points into strength. He even shows off an apple that he's crushing to show his progress. This dude's dead set on getting stronger and ain't taking no shit. So he heads to the location from the key notification, fully prepared for whatever's coming. And if shit gets too real like it did in that raid, he'll just haul ass and run away. When Jinwoo pulls out his key, bam, a freaking keyhole appears out of nowhere. Jinwoo uses the key to unlock it, and boom, a mysterious gate shows up. So he walks through it, and guess what? A notification pops up saying he's in an instance dungeon. The exit's sealed off, but regular folks don't even notice it. Turns out this place is like a whole other dimension, and these instance dungeons ain't like your regular dungeons. He thinks it's kinda like a red gate, but he ain't got much info on those since he's never been in one. Jinwoo realizes he can't just run like he planned, and then another notification pops up. It says the only way out of this joint is by beating the boss or using a teleportation stone. Jinwoo's couldn't even take down an E-rank beast before, and now I gotta clear a whole instance dungeon all by myself. He wonders if he's really up for it, but he figures he ain't got no choice, so he starts making his way through. But damn, Jinwoo's confidence starts to fade real quickly. And it ain't without reason, because a bunch of goblins show up right in front of him. Jinwoo gets a flashback of when he got stabbed, and these goblins come at him. These little suckers are relentless, they're swinging and charging like crazy, but Jinwoo's doing a good job dodging and blocking them. But damn, he gets overwhelmed eventually. But you know what? Jinwoo gets pissed off and straight up stabs one of those goblins. He's feeling more confident after that, so he takes out the other two like it's nothing. Jinwoo can tell he's getting stronger, but out of nowhere, this beast shows up. It shatters his freaking dagger like it's made of glass. Jinwoo can sense this monster is way stronger than the goblins. As this creature stares him down, his legs freeze up. He's thinking, what the hell? Am I scared? Because he didn't think he was traumatized from the raid. But his legs keep trembling, and this monster starts its attack. Jinwoo barely dodges it, but it manages to scratch him. He ain't got no healer with him, so if he gets injured again, game over for him. This monster lets out a howl and charges straight at Jinwoo. Jinwoo is dodging like a ninja. He can't believe how damn light he feels. The monster tries to come at him again, but Jinwoo ain't taking that crap no more. He's done being a pushover and decides to throw a powerful punch. Damn, he can't believe how much stronger he feels after beefing up his strength. Sure, the monsters still got the upper hand, but Jinwoo ain't giving up without a fight for his damn life. His attacks ain't doing much though, so he's gotta focus on evading the monster's strikes. Now Jinwoo's at a loss for what to do next. He realizes he can't handle this alone, so he bolts because he ain't got no party or healer. All he's got in his bag is water and food, and he wishes he had a weapon with some magical mojo. But then, Jinwoo gets a freaking brilliant idea. He checks his inventory and pulls out a sword at the freaking last moment. And boom, he slices that monster in half with a sword. Jinwoo has no freaking clue how the sword ended up in there, but he remembers Kim saying he dropped 3 million on it. That's a weapon Jinwoo could never afford. But who the hell cares? It's an emergency, so he decides to make the most out of it. The pain from the fight is starting to fade, but then 2 more of these damn monsters show up. Jinwoo ain't scared anymore though, because he got his weapon. But damn, the sword gets stuck. He's panicking, desperately trying to yank it out while the monsters close in. Just in the nick of time, he manages to free it. Jinwoo kicks one of the wolves away, but damn, the other one's got some steel fangs. He kicks that sucker and tells it to find something else to chew on because he just got his sword. He takes down that monster, and now there's only one left. But Jinwoo's like, these things ain't nothing compared to the giant statue. Now all Jinwoo's gotta do is act tough, and the remaining wolf runs off like a scaredy cat. When he finally gets a break, Jinwoo realizes he's reached level 2, something that never happened with his daily quests. He figures it's because this was real combat, and he realizes all his stats go up by 1 when he levels up. So he gets 5 points from real combat, while daily quests only give him 3. Fighting is more efficient, no doubt about it. He ain't sure exactly how much 1 point makes a difference yet, but Jinwoo's certain that strength is the most important stat of them all. He's got it at 32 now, and he feels like he's walking on air. He thinks the higher his base abilities grow, the more points he'll gain. Our boy is more fired up than ever now that he's found a way to get stronger. So he goes to check the beast for essence stones, but damn, he gets items instead. Like in games, Jinwoo figures this dungeon, and the magic beasts inside are different from the ones in gates. And guess what? He's shocked to find out his system has a freaking shop, but his level is too low to buy anything. At least he can sell stuff though. The dude manages to get 20 gold from a tooth. Jinwoo ain't sure how much that's worth, but he remembers he's in an E-rank dungeon, so it probably ain't much. Now Jinwoo's thinking about what he's gotta do next. He can't bounce until he beats the boss, and he ain't got a clue where to find a teleportation stone. To make things worse, if he stays too long, he'll run out of food. He knows damn well he can't take down a boss right now, even if it's just E-rank, so he's wondering if he should level up first. Right then, Jinwoo's mind gets blown when a whole pack of wolves shows up. Jinwoo tells himself not to be scared because he already knows what dying feels like. This time, he charges straight at them wolves and starts slicing them up like a meat. Jinwoo promises he ain't going down easy, but he knows them wolves ain't gonna give up either. This dude's getting a little crazy because he wants the fight to last and be intense. He just wants to get stronger, so he's gonna follow all them ridiculous rules from the system. Jinwoo chops through all the monsters and notifications pop up everywhere like crazy. When he's done, he gets a final notification saying he's now the wolf assassin. Outside, some folks walk by a portal, and they wish the damn city would do something about it already. Inside the dungeon, Jinwoo's dead tired, and he realizes his sword's about to give out. Just then, he gets a notification explaining the perks of being a wolf assassin. Jinwoo gets a 40% boost to all his abilities when fighting animal-type monsters. And guess what? When he checks his inventory, he finds a whole bunch of fangs and a cloak. But here's the real kicker. He also finds a teleportation stone. Jinwoo thinks about using it to bail, but he hesitates because he might never get this easy of a chance to get stronger again. He's got no clue what's gonna happen to this dungeon when he leaves. It might just vanish into thin air. It could be like some limited time event in a game and vanishing without a trace. Faced with this tough decision, Jinwoo decides to keep moving forward. Meanwhile, Juhee gets a call from the Hunter Association saying there's been a dungeon break at a gate nearby. They're running low on healers, so they need her help. Juhee feels guilty because she turned them down before, but now she's like, damn, Jinwoo worked his ass off, I gotta step up. While Jinwoo's still fighting in the dungeon, he realizes the higher his level gets, the easier it is to kick monster ass. Plus, the text describing them starts changing colors. White means they're weak as hell, orange means they're on par with him, and red means they're seriously strong. Those wolves that were red before, now they're white. That means Jinwoo has seriously leveled up like he's become a beast. Jinwoo knows there's this one monster lurking downstairs that he can't mess with at his current level. His perception skills are on point now, and he can feel something straight up terrifying down there. This monster is so damn powerful, it's giving him mad goosebumps. Jinwoo's sword is almost done, and he ain't see any more room for leveling up in this area. But his whole goal is to get stronger, so Jinwoo decides to just go down the damn stairs. When he reaches the bottom, bam, something attacks him with lightning speed, and he barely has time to react. Jinwoo's sword snaps in half, and this massive serpent pops up in front of him. Damn, Jinwoo's mind is blown, because even with all his leveling up, this beast's name is still orange to him, which means it's insanely tough. It's crystal clear that this snake is the boss, and there's no way his sword can pierce its thick scales. He knows for sure that fighting without a weapon would be a death sentence, so when the snake strikes, Jinwoo goes all out with his sword. This colossal snake knows how to pack a punch, so Jinwoo needs to figure out a way to get around its defenses. But damn, this thing's armor is hella tough, so all Jinwoo can do is run for his life. The snake whips its tail like a straight-up badass, and Jinwoo knows he's screwed if he gets hit. He does his best to block it, but he takes some serious damage. This creature doesn't quit. Jinwoo gets tossed around like a rag doll, and he even has a train launched at him. Our boy thought he had gotten stronger, but it wasn't enough. The train barely misses crushing him, and Jinwoo starts questioning himself. How much stronger does he gotta get before he stops being the laughingstock? He remembers when people called him the weakest hunter ever, and it hits him hard. Song was the one who spilled the beans, and he pumped up Jinwoo to prove them all wrong. As this snake straight up overwhelms him with its crazy power, tossing him into a whole new area, Jinwoo has an epiphany. He got stuck with that nickname because he was weak, the same reason he got mocked. Jinwoo takes a second look and realizes that those with mad strength always have the upper hand in any situation. But the powerless ones ain't got nothing to do around the strong except shake in fear and stand around like losers. The weaklings always get looked down upon. You might be smart, creative, and caring, but when you face some serious strength, none of that's gonna save your sorry ass. Jinwoo figures out that being kind won't get him anywhere, so he's gotta toughen up. With this newfound determination, Jinwoo straight up jumps on that snake. The ferocious monster throws him off, but Jinwoo swears to himself that he'll get stronger, and suddenly his body starts glowing. Jinwoo dodges the snake again like a boss and strikes it with his sword, but he's even more determined now. He compares what he's feeling right now to the terror he felt during that raid, and declares that this is gonna be way easier than that day. Jinwoo pulls off this sick move, using his sword to ride the snake again, but then he tosses it aside all shaky, and grabs that beast with his bare hands. Jinwoo admits that he's been laser focused on boosting his strength ever since he got that leveling system. So he decides to rely on that now and starts crushing the snake's tough scales. The snake's trying to shake him off, but it's too damn late because Jinwoo knows he can kill that sucker. Jinwoo straight up demands the snake to die, using his crazy physical strength to defeat it. Then boom, he gets a notification saying he leveled up multiple times, and our hero bursts out laughing. He's like, damn, I really got stronger. We see the aftermath of this epic battle. Another notification explains that he just kicked the Swamp King's ass. He gets this badass dagger made from the serpent's fangs that's twice as powerful as Kim's sword. It even has paralysis and drain effects, oh, and he also gets this toxic potion that'll make his skin tough as nails, but mess up his muscles permanently. Now the dungeon turns into a train station, and Jinwoo realizes he beat the whole damn thing by himself. He's walking around with his broken sword, but there's nobody in sight. Some soldier tells Jinwoo to find shelter, but he quickly figures out that Jinwoo is a hunter. The soldier's like, my bad, let's go kick some ass together. There are monsters all over the place, so Jinwoo figures it must have been a dungeon break, and some magic beast came out of a portal. The soldier says they handled most of the situation, but there's still one huge badass monster left. Jinwoo's perception ability has gone through the roof, and he can sense where the boss is. We see this massive golem wrecking shit, and the people are scared as hell it's gonna get worse. The hunters are struggling to fight it, and the leader tells the healers to focus on keeping their tank alive. The healers are all like, "We're doing our damn job," and the tank wonders what the damage dealers are even doing. The damage dealers are giving it their all, but the golem's defense is insane. And to make matters worse, they don't have enough hunters who can use magic. Jinwoo expertly analyzes the situation and realizes that this group of hunters was put together in a hurry. No wonder they ain't working together. He uses his perception again and sees their ranks. 2 A ranks and 2 D ranks. One of those D ranks is a tank, which explains why they can't take down the golem. This battle's been going on for a hot minute, and then he checks out the healers and is shocked to see that Juhee is one of them. Juhee gets told by one of the hunters to pitch in and help. She reminds her that she's supposed to be a B rank healer, but then she snaps out of her fear and casts a spell. And the hunter's like, "Stay focused, girl." But poor Juhee can't shake off those creepy memories of the giant statue, so she loses her concentration again. Jinwoo notices she's still freaked out, but he doesn't blame her, because he's feeling the same way. Then it hits him that things have actually changed. This golem is a weak-ass D rank boss, way weaker than the one he just fought. The hunters start freaking out because they're losing the battle real quick, and they realize they ain't got a chance without a higher ranked hunter. That's when Jinwoo gears up for an attack and figures out that they can take down the golem if they can just break through its defenses. Jinwoo plans to lend them a hand by using an attack strong enough to pierce through the stone. Jinwoo hurls his busted sword with so much force that it straight up shatters the golem's shield, and the hunters start wailing at it. They barely lay a finger on it and manage to bring it down. They can't believe they actually did it, but the tank guy ain't convinced. He's all like, "None of our attacks were doing squat before. What the hell broke that thing's defense?" He's dead certain it wasn't any of them because they couldn't even scratch the damn thing. Then he spots the sword lying nearby and puts 2 and 2 together. He realized that this sword was the reason, but couldn't believe it. I mean, this was a boss-level golem that even 10 hunters couldn't touch, and now it's taken down by some old beat-up sword. He asks if anyone saw who threw the sword. The soldier explains that it was the fisherman they brought with him. But here's the kicker: the hunter's gone missing, and the tank stares in utter disbelief. This person had some next-level power, and he couldn't help but wonder how high-ranked this mysterious hunter was. Jinwoo dipped out of the area to keep his power on the down low, and he's like, "I didn't think one attack would do that much damage." Our hero might not even realize the extent of his power, because he figures the monster must have been seriously messed up before he struck. The battle's done, and Juhee's wondering if it was Jinwoo who came through in the clutch. Some time passes, and we see the nurses at the hospital gossiping about Jinwoo's rank. They're all talking about how he looks pretty average, but damn, that dude is seriously ripped. In Jinwoo's room, our boy is grinding hard, hustling through his daily workout routine. These thirsty nurses won't shut up about him. They can't even believe how fast he's transformed. One poor nurse straight up falls for Jinwoo when she catches him post-workout, and she can't stop staring at his ripped body. Today's the day Jinwoo bounces out of the hospital, so this desperate nurse asks for his digit. But Jinwoo ain't all there yet, still stuck on the fact that he thinks she just wants to send him test results after he's released. On the news, we catch up with Beak, that S-rank hunter who took down the giant ants. He's one of only 7 S-rank hunters in the country and gives us a glimpse into the life of a top hunter. He breaks it down, saying he's gotta train like a beast every day when he ain't raiding dungeons. Even the smallest mistake could lead to his buddies getting hurt, so he gotta stay sharp, no doubt. Gina notices that Jinwoo is now seriously ripped and has even grown taller. Jinwoo reminds his scatterbrained sister to grab an umbrella for school and sees her off. When he's alone, Jinwoo figures he can hit his run later and wonders if these fresh gains are because of his boosted stats. He figures if he keeps this pace up, he could become a massive bodybuilder. Jinwoo starts thinking about where to allocate the new stats he just got. Dude's sitting at level 18 now. He's now level 18. He knows that strength increases his damage, but he also knows it's pointless if he can't land a hit. Besides vitality, perception, and agility, he also got this intellect stat. He figures it's gotta be something to do with magic, but he ain't sure if he needs that. Jinwoo makes up his mind and dumps all his points into strength and perception. Right then, Jinwoo gets a call from his landlord, who's reminding him that he hasn't paid last month's rent. Lucky for our hero, he's gotten way stronger, and taking down goblins is a piece of cake now. That means making cash is easier, but there's one issue. To rake in the big bucks, he gotta tackle higher level gates, but ain't nobody letting an E-rank hunter through those doors. Jinwoo thinks about getting his rank reevaluated, but that's a huge risk. Reawakenings are mad rare, and ain't nobody has ever seen a hunter level up and keep getting stronger as he can. Jinwoo decides to keep his powers under wraps for now until he can defend himself and figure out more about what he can do. Then out of the blue, Jinwoo is shocked by a job listing and bolts off. The dude's hustling with his daily training to score some reward, and he links up with this hunter named Hung. Hung apologizes to Jinwoo because his crew thinks he's the weakest hunter ever, but Jinwoo plays it cool and lies, saying they ain't wrong. Hung explains they're heading into a C-rank dungeon, but they need at least 8 people to enter. They need Jinwoo to meet that quota, even if he's just an E rank, but Jinwoo ain't gonna do any fighting. Hung's like, you won't get no rewards either, but we'll hook you up with 2 million yuan. Our hero peeps the situation and sees they have 4 C rankers and 2 D rankers. Jinwoo agrees to join, and Hung explains that his gig will be to carry supplies. They must not have a healer because they gotta haul med stuff. Hung adds that it's tough for independent parties to snag healers. Jinwoo's a bit worried because this party's full of tanks and damage dealers, but he's like, screw it, I'll sign the contract anyways. A 20-year-old D-rank hunter named Leo was introduced, and Jinwoo figures he must come from a loaded family given his fancy gear. Leo wonders if Jinwoo can handle lugging around all the heavy supplies, but Jinwoo assures him he'll be fine. Leo has no clue that Jinwoo's a beast, and he's tripping if Jinwoo can handle carrying all that heavy crap. Leo starts spouting off about the president overseeing the construction site they're at, blabbering on about how the guy skipped town after swindling 900 billion yuan, leaving everyone astonished. They all roll up to this freaking massive gate and start thinking if it's really just some C-rank dungeon. Leo questions if they'll be alright, so Jinwoo explains that the size of the gate ain't that important. What really matters is the magic power flowing from inside. And that's what the Hunter Association uses to assign ranks. Anything above a B rank, the big guilds take care of, so this C rank joint shouldn't be too much of a challenge. Jinwoo knows all this because he's been a hunter for a while, but he realizes he ain't never actually tackled a C rank dungeon before. They step through the gate and use the light to check things out, but damn, they're shocked to find there ain't no magical creatures in there. Most dungeons are lit up with glowstones, but this one's pitch black. The darkness reminds Jinwoo of the entrance to that temple, so he starts telling Leo about all sorts of stones. There are these essence stones that hunters nab from magic beasts, mana stones that can be mined from dungeons, and glow stones that light up the damn caves. Jinwoo shuts down that chatty kid real quick and spills the beans about some crazy magic beasts lurking in this dungeon. They're keeping a low profile for now, but our boy's got a hunch. He figures these beasts are like bugs and tells everyone. Everyone freaks out when they realize they're stuck in an ant's nest and can hear those monsters getting closer. Jinwoo says the beasts are above them, so the crew starts going all out, attacking like mad. Hung steps up and uses his taunt skill to draw most of the aggro, and Jinwoo is amazed by their badass leader, who's a C rank. Leo wants to join the fight, but their mage holds him back, saying he's got a trick up his sleeve. After a suspenseful countdown, the mage unleashes a wicked blast. Jinwoo analyzes the situation again, and he can see these hunters have some solid teamwork going on. As for Leo, his gear compensates for his lack of skills. They're all holding their own, but Jinwoo's got this nagging feeling that something's off. He quietly destroys one of the ants, and the fight ends shortly after. Hung declares their victory, and everyone grabs their share of the loot, except Jinwoo. Hung gives props to Jinwoo for saving them a ton of trouble by spotting those ants. Jinwoo's like, no, just followed my instincts. But then Hung noticed that some of the ants were messed up, and it wasn't from swords or magic. He thinks maybe some other magic beast got to them, but that would mean there's something even stronger lurking around here. Several ants were torn to shreds, so Hung wondered what could be big enough to take them down. Leo spills the beans about how his pops hooked him up with a bunch of sick gear for his first raid, and Jinwoo's stoked to hear that. He ain't sure why yet, but he tells Leo they gotta be extra careful. Over in another spot, a dude working out gets startled by a loud noise of destruction. But don't trip, someone tells him to chill because it's just their guild master training, and turns out it's Beak. This dude is a beast, and the kid's jaw drops when he sees Beak smash through a massive stone with just one hit. Beak doesn't even flinch, and says it wasn't even a good warm-up. Back in the dungeon, Leo's still worried about Jinwoo carrying everything. But Jinwoo's like, no man, getting paid to not fight? That's a sweet deal. But deep down, our boy's thinking might be too good to be true. He does some more thinking and realizes this crew is battle-tested, but ain't got no healer. Plus, they needed more members to meet the party quota. The group gets worried because they've covered a ton of ground in the dungeon, but haven't come across a single healthy critter. The dungeon boss gotta be alive though, because the gate would have closed if it wasn't. They stumble upon a bunch of webs and figure out that the boss's lair must be through that tunnel. They go through the tunnel and damn, they find a crazy load of mana crystals. Now these crystals ain't as valuable as essence stones, but we're talking at least 1 billion worth of crystals. One of the hunters even says that Hung's brother would be hella jealous of this find, but they shut him down real quick. Hung's got some hidden motive, they think, because his brother can't always be right. Hung ain't about to play second fiddle to his bro, so he's gonna use this massive haul as his own personal strike team training ground. Now Leo is the legal whiz, so he takes a look at Jinwoo's contract and spots something fishy. He tells Hung that the contract only says Jinwoo ain't getting a cut of the battle drops, but mana crystals ain't battle drops. That means they gotta split their findings 8 ways instead of 7. Hung all smiles and agrees, but he reminds them that the dungeon boss is nearby. They gotta defeat that boss to close the gate, so they gotta haul those mana crystals out before they take on the spider boss. Lucky for them though, the spider's snoozing. But Hung flips out on one of the hunters because they forgot to bring the transport gear. Hung tells Leo and Jinwoo to chillax while they go fetch the gear, and he assures them that the spider won't wake up unless something pisses it off. Hung points out that they're both newbies to C-rank dungeons and tells them to just trust his decision. He's got some business to discuss with his team, so they're gonna take a break too. As they leave, Jinwoo starts analyzing the situation again. He finds it weird that they ain't got any experienced folks to call in and help them meet their quota. From a good distance, we peep at how wicked Hung is. He straight up orders one of his crew to seal off the boss's chamber. The dude follows through, and Leo realizes they got backstabbed. This is exactly what Jinwoo was worried about. He remembers how Song warned him that there are some real crooks in their line of work. Raiding dungeons is no joke. Accidents happen all the time. And in that chaos, crimes can go unnoticed. Ain't no security cameras in these dungeons, so as long as there ain't no survivors, there won't be no evidence. Leo is pissed that these dudes are really willing to throw them under the bus for some mana crystals. He's starting to regret even bringing up the damn contract. But Jinwoo ain't falling for it. They were ready to off them at any moment if they stepped out of line. Now their main concern is the boss that just woke up, and Leo tells Jinwoo to fall back. Jinwoo spots an exit, but he quickly realizes that Hung already knows about it. The spider's wide awake now, and Jinwoo realizes this C-rank beast is on a whole another level. But hold up, our boy ain't about to back down. He takes charge, telling Leo to stay out of the way because he's gonna throw down with this thing. Jinwoo summons his weapon and declares he's gonna beat its ass. When Hung's crew bails out of that dungeon, the mage is all like, why didn't they just take out those 2 newbies themselves? But Hung explains they couldn't risk waking up the spider, because they needed snoozing to grab those sweet mana crystals. He ain't worried though, because some dude with 0 experience, and the weakest hunter ever ain't got no chance against that spider. The plan is to wait for the spider to chow down on them and pass out again. They can't go in guns blazing, because it would wake the spider up, but Hung knows about this little path above the cave. Worst case scenario, the spider doesn't pass out after munching on the newbies. If their crew can't nab them mana crystals, their group will at least swipe Leo's gear, which is worth a fortune. Hung and the mage both agree they can't take on the spider themselves, and Hung makes it clear the spider shouldn't be slept on. That boss is straight up deadly, and it's just a matter of time before those newbies get smoked. Inside the dungeon, Leo tries to talk Jinwoo out of fighting the boss, because only a B-rank hunter could take down a C-rank dungeon boss solo. Even an elite level C rank wouldn't stand a chance, so Leo thinks they should bounce and find a way out. Jinwoo recognizes that Leo's right. Even though he's had a second awakening and leveled up, he still sees himself as weak. The Golem and Venom bosses were both D ranks, so this spider is on a whole another level. Jinwoo can't explain it, but he ain't feeling any pressure right now. He realizes he must have gotten strong enough to not fear C-rank bosses anymore. He's at level 18 and straight up claims he's got a shot at taking it down. Once he starts attacking that spider, he's like, well, the real hunt begins now. Over in another spot, this big shot named Gotu, the president of the Hunters Association, is exhausted from being stuck in a bunch of boring meetings. His driver offers to spar with him to cheer him up, and Gotu can't say no when a young buck looks up to him. Back in that dungeon, Jinwoo realizes the spider's skin is hella tough. Its attacks pack a crazy punch, and if Jinwoo gets tagged even once, he's a goner for sure. Leo closely watches Jinwoo's movements and instantly figures out that this ain't how no E-rank hunter moves. He's wondering who the hell Jinwoo really is, and starts questioning if he's some fake-ass ranker. Only a handful of hunters can control their magic power enough to purposely get a lower rank. Them folks are called false rankers, and usually they're psychos who get a kick out of killing. Leo's starting to regret going into that dungeon, and Jinwoo realizes he can't even put a dent in that spider's tough hide. Jinwoo's fatigue is skyrocketing, and the dude needs to wrap this fight up real quick. His dagger's got some sick paralysis and drain powers, so he figures that's gonna be his ticket to victory. Jinwoo's gotta target the spider's weak spot with those moves, but damn, he's hella surprised when the spider busts out an acid attack. Jinwoo's gotta close the gap, so he decides to use a cool new skill called Dash. He uses it to smack that spider right in the face, but his dagger's debuffs don't stick. Jinwoo ain't one to throw in the towel though. He decides to keep wailing on that spider as much as he can. Dude's pushing himself harder and harder, but his fatigue catches up to him, and that spider lands a nasty hit. Jinwoo's about to get squashed, but guess what? He remembers he's got a reward left from his daily quest, so he cashes it in and fully recovers. Leo's freaking out, thinking Jinwoo's a goner, but our hero ain't done yet. He lands another hit, and this time he straight up stabs that spider in the eye, getting those dagger debuffs going. Jinwoo ain't wasting this chance, so he stabs that spider over and over, keeping those debuffs going strong. Eventually, that spider just can't take it anymore and goes down for the count. A notification pops up, saying Jinwoo just took down the dungeon boss. Jinwoo knows he got lucky not picking a reward before diving into that dungeon, because he'd be 6 feet under right now for sure. Leo's mind is blown, seeing Jinwoo take down a dungeon boss all by himself. He's more convinced than ever that Jinwoo's some kind of fake ranker. Jinwoo scores a gem from that spider, and Leo rolls up, offering to carry their supplies from now on. Leo straight up idolizes Jinwoo now, telling him to chill and take a break while he handles the mana crystals. Just then, Hung and his crew show up, and they're hella surprised to see the newbies still kicking. In a training room, Gotu straight flexes on Woo, showing off his mad skills by totally overpowering him like it's no biggie. Gotu gives props to Woo, saying he feels way better now. Woo's mind is blown that the prez ain't even rusty. Gotu explains he ain't as strong as before, but he can tell Woo's been grinding hard. Woo acknowledges that training can't level up a hunter, but it can level up their skills. Gotu points out that a hunter's gotta be physically and mentally strong, especially in dungeons where you have the worst kind of people lurking. Back in the dungeon, Hung's crew concludes that the newbies only survived because this spider must have been dumb as a rock. They straight up clown the spider for losing to low-level hunters. Hung spills the beans to Leo that he knows Leo's from a rich family, but Leo's like, who cares? That's when Hung drops the bomb and tells Leo he's only getting one chance. He tells Leo to straight up off Jinwoo. Hung's like, usually we kill the people we recruit for our party so we can keep all the loot ourselves. But hey, if Leo agrees to join us, we won't off him. If Leo says no, we'll just kill them both. Hung thinks Leo might be a threat because he has some crazy gear that gives him superpowers to take down the spider. He'd rather not test that theory, so he wants to talk Leo into taking on weak-ass Jinwoo. Hung's stoked when Leo starts heading toward Jinwoo, but then he's all shocked when Leo ends up taking Jinwoo's side. This evil group decides to straight up end their lives, and Hung's wondering if the newbies ever had to off any peeps before. Right then and there, Jinwoo gets an urgent mission, and it's straight up wild because he gotta take out 6 enemies in front of him. Now the gang decides to go after the weaker one, so the mage attacks Jinwoo. Leo's all worried about his new buddy, and freaked when he sees how messed up Jinwoo is. Meanwhile, one of the group members, Chahi, was told to brag about how amazing she was. They struggled with an rank beast, but she took it down in a flash. These girls feel lucky because they are in 2 of the sickest guilds around. After all, there are all sorts of messed up stories about the other squads, like those strike teams with crazy high death rates. Back in the dungeon, Hung's like, it's game over, Jinwoo's done for. Jinwoo starts beating himself up for forgetting, and reminds himself that this world is all about survival of the fittest. It's a world full of shady tricks and backstabbing. He's straight up fuming because he forgot this truth and realizes he got numb to it. Jinwoo's chilled out now, and he's thinking about how he straight up messed up because he was careless and too damn cocky. This level system is pushing him to kill, so he's wondering if it needs him alive for some reason. He figures this system ain't just being nice, it wants him alive. But that's not all, it also wants him to be strong. So Jinwoo's like, if this system wants to use me, then I may use it right back. He tells the crew that they remind him that the weak ones are the ones who bite the dust in the dungeon. They are stoked to hear the weakest hunter knows how it goes, but Jinwoo points out that they better be ready for when this rule doesn't work in their favor. One of them ain't cool with Jinwoo calling them prey, but Jinwoo wastes no time showing them what he means. Everybody's straight up shocked when this dude's head gets sliced off, and Jinwoo's like, that's one down, as the kill count pops up on the updates. Jinwoo just realized he straight up murked someone, but he knows damn well he would have been 6 feet under if he hadn't. Ain't no turning back now because only the strong survive. The crew snaps out of their shock, seeing an E rank take out one of their D ranks, and they come at Jinwoo with all they have. But it's all futile because Jinwoo starts shanking them one by one. His debuffs kick in, and he takes out 2 more suckers. The archer is the next to bite the dust under Jinwoo's wrath, followed by the mage. Now there's only one left, and Leo's mind is blown, because Jinwoo's way stronger than when he faced the dungeon boss. Hung buffs up his body and thinks about how he is certain that Jinwoo is tired after dealing with the boss and 5 other hunters. Plus Hung's made his body as tough as steel, so he figures Jinwoo's dagger won't even scratch him. But Hung starts his attack, and our hero catches him off guard with his lightning speed. Jinwoo knows Hung's a beast, but he drops a bombshell on him. He crushes him and reveals he's been leveling up this whole damn time. Hung realizes Jinwoo ain't an E rank and tries to bribe him with double the cash. But Jinwoo ain't having none of it, because this dude tried to off him 3 times. Jinwoo mocks him, saying he won't get away with it, and Hung tries to threaten Jinwoo one last time. But Jinwoo reminds him that Hung himself said whatever goes down in a dungeon stays in a dungeon. Hung tries to play tough one last time, but Jinwoo straight up ends his sorry ass. Jinwoo's mission is accomplished, but the whole dungeon starts to crumble because they took down the boss. When they make it out, they're the only ones left standing after the spider showdown. The official ain't buying it because they're the lowest level peeps, but she gets distracted by some used gear. Jinwoo can't believe he's getting rewarded for the bloody mess he just caused, and he realizes he gained a skill that scares the crap out of enemies and cuts their abilities in half. The no-nonsense official concludes that Leo survived because of his gear and assumes Jinwoo, the E-rank scrub, just hid somewhere. Leo gives props to Jinwoo for a job well done, and then it starts raining. Leo wonders if something's up, but the chill Jinwoo explains he's just happy he gave his sister an umbrella. Somewhere else, Woo gets told about this crazy incident where 6 hunters got wiped out. and only 2 of them made it out alive. It's pretty normal for hunters to dip when they're outmatched in dungeons, but he's hella surprised when he hears that these survivors actually took down the dungeon boss before bouncing. Woo straight up interrupts the dude before he can spill more, but then he gets hit with a bombshell. One of the survivors is none other than Jinwoo. Woo knows this shit involves the infamous Hung, which explains why he got dragged into this mess. Jinwoo rolls back home and lets his sister know that he's gonna cover their mom's hospital bills for a while. Gina thinks he must have scored big cash from his last raid, but she's like, hold up, bro, you ain't even injured. She figures he must have had a solid-ass team making it easy to take down the bad guys. Jinwoo admits that it was a piece of cake,